team is in the lead.
Are you still alive?
How do I get more kills in TMS?
Who is stealing my kill? No way, bro. I had a shotgun. Who is stealing my kill? No way, bro. I had a shotgun. Who is stealing my kill? Okay, that guy had a shotgun. Here, like, some. I ran out of bullets. Oh my god. This is actually South African server. Here, like,
The blue team is about to win.
I ran out of bullets. Oh my god. This is actually South African server. Here, like,
The blue team
bro, who is
is about
sliding
to
like that?
win.
Who is sliding? I ran out of bullets. Who is just sliding? And the thing is, oh shit. No, I ran out of bullets. Bro, who is sliding like that? I think this guy is ready now. Oh, he still killed him. Oh, he's just sliding. And the thing is, oh, I ran out of bullets. Anyone join? I think this guy is ready now. Bro, oh, he still killed him. Let's see if he's ready. The thing is, anyone join? Scope is better, 3x or 4x. I think we're gonna come into that. I've not even started yet, so just keep your questions ready. Basically, I'll be talking about specific things, and yeah, you guys can ask your questions based on the topic. Okay, that's how we're gonna do it. You know, so everything is organized. So because I don't want to like start. I think we're gonna come into that. Maybe like later on, just keep your questions. I can entertain like any question at all. And, yeah, but yeah, first of all, I'm gonna be talking about some specific stuff exactly. The topic. And that's how we're going to do it. Yeah, you guys can ask your questions relating to that. You know, so because I'm not just here to answer questions, I'm here to play and explain like later on some specific stuff, like basically about the game. But yeah, first of all, and then you all can ask your questions relating to that. So yeah, and that's just to make everything like questions. I think I'm going to do this out because I'm not just here to answer questions. I'm here to play and explain like later on specific stuff. So everyone, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you all for joining and ask your questions. Today we're going to talk about PUBG, and literally I'll be guiding you players on how to play the game. I'll be teaching them, and yeah, I'll be telling them about, you know, basic information, basic operations, you know, showing them around the maps, everything, you know, trying to give them like a better understanding of the game. Talk about PUBG, and literally I'll be guiding. If you have any questions, there'll be time for questions and answers. So I'll be teaching them, and yeah, I'll entertain questions during that time. Basic operations, you know, showing them around the maps. I think I have to disable this, you know, trying to give them like a better. So this game we're going to be talking about basic operations in the game, and this game I'm going to be talking about movement, okay? Because as a new player you need to learn how to move actually you need to learn how to move, and I'm gonna show you the basic stuff.
So this game we're going to be talking about basic operations.
So literally, this is gonna be about movement. This game is gonna be about movement. I'm gonna be talking about movement and everything associated with that. How did this even reset? This is so well. I don't know why PUBG be resetting this every single time. So literally, I'm going to be talking about movement first of all. So guys, make sure you pay attention. For those of you that don't know how to move stuff, so make sure you pay attention. How did this even reset? I have to play my server because I have to increase this so you guys see my every single time.
So literally, I'm going to be talking about movement.
So this much I'm going to be talking about movement and yeah,
for those of you
everything involved moving stuff and movement in general. Because as a new player, you need to know how to play. You know, basically you see some people they have like really good movement. Some people have like bad movement. Some people move like bots and so on. And it doesn't really matter like how you move, but you have to still move. Like the game involves like movement. I'm still going to show you guys how everything is done. Basically, you see some people they have movement, some people have like bad movement. That's why I had to actually make bold my movement button so you can see. Like, it doesn't really matter like how you move. And yeah. That's why I had to actually make bold my button so so I actually supposed to is that so literally about movement, like as you can see there, I tend to have a very good movement because I mean I've been playing the game for like so long. So yeah, as a player you need to learn how to move around, you know, because you need to do basic stuff, you need to shoot enemies and all that stuff, and you can't do that while like sitting at the place. And yeah, that's why movement is pretty important in the game. So, yeah, you know, for new players joining, welcome in. This is PUBG Mobile, and yeah. So when it comes to movement, literally, we have what we call the controls, which is in the settings over here. So literally, if you want to like set your movements, there's this button here highlighted with the yellow like marker. So this is actually the movement button. And this is the dialogue button that enables you to move around, to move left, right, front, backwards, and all that stuff. So, and yeah, this is actually how this button, and this is what enables you to actually move around in the game. So honestly, I have no other way of highlighting this. Maybe I can take a screenshot and zoom it so you all see what I'm talking about. So literally, this button over here, this is what enables you to actually move around in the game. So honestly, I have no other way of highlighting this. So and yeah, in the settings, you can actually set the size because we don't have the same fingers, like, so you can actually set the size that is comfortable and suitable.
Does it matter what size the buttons have?
Honestly, it does not really matter. All I would say is if you want to actually set your controls, make sure you set it to your own taste. You have to set it because you know, in such a way that in such a way that it's more comfortable for you to play on. So basically, I love to play on 50 on size 50. Some people might love to play on this size. I don't know. Everyone is built different, but you know, you have to choose the size that actually works in such a way that. So literally, I mean, I love to play on 50. I've tried so many other sizes as well, and I love to really, really good for me. Like I can left to right, front to back, you know, however I want to build different, and it is suitable for me and more comfortable for me. So you have to actually like, you know, you have to select, you have to adjust, you know, your movement button in such a way it fits you, it's suitable for you, and you know, placement as well. Like, you know, we all play on mobile phones, iPads, and all that stuff, and you have to put the movement button like where on your screen. Like you have to place it on that part of your screen that is suitable for you. So if you understand what I mean, you know, some people's movement buttons are like on the top side of the screen. Some people's movement buttons are like, you know, everywhere, anywhere on the screen. Mine is actually here because it's more suitable for me here. So you have to actually place your movement button like where it's more suitable for you, and you know, so you can be comfortable with your movement and all that stuff. Some people's movement buttons are like on the top side of the screen. Some people's movement. So yeah, that's it. Basically, movement button. And also, like, there's what we call sprint sensitivity. So this is what actually facilitates your movement. Basically, it facilitates how you move. You know, how fast you move. It determines how fast you move from left to right, or like forward movement, backward movement. You know, this sprint sensitivity. So this is what actually facilitates your movement. It facilitates how you literally this. You know, how fast you move. It determines how fast. So sprint sensitivity. This is what is in charge of the movement, like how fast you move. So if I reduce it to 0 now, you see the way I'm moving. I move like a robot. So this is actually because the sprint sensitivity is like 50%. So the higher your sprint sensitivity, the faster you move. You understand what I mean? So basically, that's what it is. Like how fast. So let's try and increase it to let's increase it to like I move like a robot. It's to 55. The sprint sensitivity is like, you see, I still move slow. So the higher your sprint sensitivity, even it's at 55 right now, but I still move like pretty slow. So basically, that's what it is. Like how fast. So I move pretty slow, and so for me, I honestly use 100 because it's the highest and it's the fastest. So it enables me to move like really fast. I can run like really fast. I can, you know, move from point A to point B faster than, you know, how I would move if the sprint sensitivity was lower. So if you wanna like have a like very fast movement, you need to actually be high and faster than, you know, see how fast I move from left to right. If my sprint sensitivity was 0, I would be moving like a robot. So basically, the bots you see, they move on like 0% sprint sensitivity. But I don't think it's all of them though. Like some of them move on higher sprint sensitivity. Some of them move on like very low sprint sensitivity. But as for real players and new players that join the game, I would advise you play on 100% sprint sensitivity, right? Because that's so much better and to help your movement and so basically the bots used to make it like so much better. Like 0% sprint sensitivity. So yeah, that's all about movement, and I would entertain questions on higher sprint based on movement. Thank you all. If you have any questions based on movement, but as for real players, let me know in the comment section and I'll reply every single thing. Every single question, sorry. Because that's so much better to help your movement. And so ask me anything you want to know about movement, how to make your movement better, anything at all. I will entertain questions on higher sprint based on movement. If you have any questions based on movement, but as for real players, let me know in the comment section and I'll reply every single. Sorry. So ask me anything you want to know about movement, how to create movement better, entertain questions, highest motivation. So ask me anything you want to know about movement.
If I'm moving too fast, would it affect my aim?
If you're moving too fast, will it affect your aim? I don't know. It depends. Like honestly, it should affect your aim, because the faster you move, the more like unbalanced your aim is gonna be. So all I would say is it's gonna affect your aim. This is where like knowing where actually gyroscope comes in. This is where gyroscope comes in. I don't know. It depends. Like honestly, it should. This is where gyroscope comes in. It should affect because you need to understand. Because the faster you move, the more like. All I would say is because you need to actually understand. This is where like knowing you need to understand how to pull your crosshair while moving. This is where gyroscope comes in. So literally. We have different types of movement actually. Most people move to actually understand. They're looking for me. You need to understand how to while moving. So literally, we have different types of movement actually. Most people move So you need to. The first one have self-revive. So you need to know how to move and how to. Who is this guy? You need to know how to move and how to balance your crosshairs. So basically, we have different types of movement. So the pro players actually move in the game while shooting. So most people move left to right, which is the Chico movement. Left is right, left to right, left right, left right, left right. So while moving left to right, you need to learn how to balance your crosshair. Different types of movements. The pro players actually. So you need to actually learn how to balance your crosshair while moving from left to right. So while moving left to right, you need to learn how to balance your crosshair. So basically, movement affects your aim, but that's where gyroscope comes in, or ADS, whichever one you use. So that's where gyroscope and ADS comes in. And yeah, gyroscope, you can stabilize your movement, your aim while moving. So yeah, definitely movement affects your aim. But yeah, that's where gyroscope comes in. So is there like any other question? So that's where gyroscope and ADS comes in. If you have other questions, let me know. Thank you so much. You can. These enemies seem not to know how to move. They need more lecture. Okay. So yeah, definitely. Who's this guy? So guys, I would entertain questions now about movement. Is there like any other question? So if we don't have any questions, then I can move forward to the next phase. I will talk about something else. These enemies seem not to know how to kill. They need more lecture. Okay.
What's the best way to practice movements?
So guys, I would entertain questions now. The best way to practice movements. So if we don't have any questions. The best way to practice movement, I would honestly, so see how this one is really tiny. Okay, I can stay here next. The best way to practice movement. So first of all, if you want to actually move properly, like I said, the placement of your did I just get the win? Okay, that is so weird. Cheat is well played. I think the other guy that was here, he died to the zone. You know what, I'm gonna explain that in training ground. Hold on. So first of all, if you want to actually, like I said, because I have to answer every question related to movement, I think I'll just give like extra 5 minutes to answer questions related to movement before going to the next topic. So I'm gonna have to explain. Oh, I'm gonna explain that question. Slow code while teaching. Bro, how about we don't use gyroscope? Like I said, you have to use gyro or ADS. So either one of these mechanics, game mechanics, you can use either one of these game mechanics to actually stabilize your aim. So first of all, like if you want to have good movement, the first thing
about movement you need to know.
the first thing you need to understand is you need to actually understand the placement of your movement button. This movement button, and yes, you see it's highlighted yellow. It's here. I don't know. Let me screenshot one more time, and yeah. So this is the movement button actually. So this is the button that enables you to move left to right, front, backwards, and however you want to move. It's highlighted. I don't care like how you want to move. Let me screenshot. But this is what is absolutely in charge of your movement. Nothing else. Nothing else. You can't move by tilting your screen. You can only move by moving the analog. Okay? So you have to actually understand the placement. You need to find a placement that is perfectly comfortable for you. And how would you know such a placement? But this is what to actually place the movement button in such a position where it is comfortable for you to move left, moving the analog, right, front, so backward. You have to actually understand the placement. Frontwards, backward, placement, left, right, however you want to move. You need to find the placement, the perfect placement for your movement button. So that's number one. You need to find the perfect placement, and also you need to find the perfect size, the size that works for me. That's why I use it, because 50 actually works for me, and 50 is actually the lowest, as you can see, and it works for me. You can decide to use the place 5, whatever you want to use. You can decide to use most people use 50 as well, so it doesn't matter. Like number one, just you need to find the perfect select. You have to actually select the one that works for you. That's why, and yeah, that's how it actually works. So first of all, you have to the placement matters first of all, because you can't place the movement button in a location or on a spot that is uncomfortable for you. It's not going to work. You're not going to move properly. So placement is number one. Placement is number one. Then secondly is the size. You have to find the perfect size for your thumbs. We all have different sizes of thumbs, and we all are not built the same. My thumbs might be bigger than yours might be bigger than mine, yours might be smaller than mine, and so on and so forth. So you need to find the perfect joystick size is number one. The perfect joystick size so you can move properly. So also placement, then secondly the joystick size has to be perfect. You need to find the perfect joystick size for your movement. So if you've gotten these two things right, then lastly you need to actually focus on the sprint sensitivity. You need to find the perfect sprint sensitivity, like I showed you guys. So the lower your sprint sensitivity, the slower you run, or the slower you placement. So you see so many bots in the game, they move like this, and you wonder why do they move like that? It's because the sprint sensitivity is at 0%, so they can't actually run, and they can't actually move. And also for some new players that download the game, I think the sprint sensitivity is around like 50 or maybe 0%. It's not really at 100. So all you have to do is go to your settings, go to advanced controls, and increase sprint sensitivity to the one that perfectly suits. But I would recommend from 80, and also for some new players that download the game, I think the sprint from 80 to 100%. So that's the best. So from 80 to 100 is good. Anything below 80 is not so good, but I'll recommend from 80 100%. So yeah. But I would recommend. Are you using iPad? Yes, I am. So is there any other questions questions because I really want to entertain questions. Maybe two more questions before I go to the next topic, and also the screen sensitivity matters a lot. So these three things are gonna they're gonna actually affect how you want to entertain questions, and yeah, maybe two more questions before I go to the next. They're gonna facilitate your movements and improve your gaming experience. Which is better, the first layout or the third layout? Honestly, I wouldn't be like this one is better or that one is better. Like I said, everyone is built different, and some people can actually play the first layout. Some people are actually good with playing with the third layout. Some people are actually used to playing large icons. However, like layouts you want to play with, it does not matter. Like no one is actually better than the other. You just need to find the one that actually works for you, the one you can use perfectly, the one you can use comfortably, and all that stuff. Just like me, I use the first layout, and my movement is actually good. And I've tried so many times to use the third layout, and it doesn't even work. Like I just try and try, and I'm not even getting it. So I just stick to the first layout. And so many people use the first layout, so many people use large icons, third layout, second layout. Whichever thing you want to use, it does not matter. You just need to find the layout or the control setting that actually works for you. So no one is better than the other. Just use the one that works for you. Large icons, third layout, second layout. Gyro sensitivity. We're not actually talking about gyro. We're talking about movement. So I'll take one more question from movement, and then we go to the next thing. Just one more question from movement. Just use the one that works for you. One more question from movement, and then we go to the next topic. We're not actually talking about gyro. We're talking about movement. Just need to find the layout. So I'll take one more question. So if then we go to the next thing. Just one more question from movement. Ask everything about movement. Yeah. One more question. So if there's anything confusing you about the way you move, just let me know so I can give you a solution. What's joystick? So if does FPS determine your movement? No, it doesn't. It does not. Definitely not. The only thing that determines your movement is your joystick. Someone asked what is joystick. This is joystick. I'll screenshot this for the last time because I've done it so many times already. What's joystick? You see this? Does FPS determine your movement? No, it doesn't. It does not. This is joystick. Okay. The only thing that determines your movement is your joystick. Someone asked what is joystick. This is joystick. So that's your joystick, guys. Okay, that's the last question. I'll delete this as well. New follower. Yo, don't be follow, guys. Thank you so much. Mine is big. Yeah, because you're comfortable with that. Like I said, you have to find the movements, like the joystick size. Sorry. A new follower. You have to find the joystick size that is so comfortable,
Sorry
so much
you were
more.
lagging. Can you please say what you said again?
Was I lagging? Mine is big. Like I said, I need to move to the next topic, but according to what Missy said her joystick is big. So, like I said, I told her that you need to actually find the joystick size that is comfortable for you. It doesn't matter if your joystick size is big or if it's small. It does not matter. Like, just find the one that works for you, the one you are comfortable with, because you have to be comfortable while playing the game. You don't have to discomfort yourself in order to play the game. So basically, you have to comfort yourself.
Oh,
You need to
okay,
be
thank you.
comfortable while playing the game. So so yeah, that's all I can say about movement. So I think we're gonna move to the next topic, guys. Thank you all for all the questions. I really appreciate all the questions. So the next topic is gonna be aiming. We're gonna talk about aiming, how to aim and all that stuff. But hold on, before I actually go to classics, let me just go to training grounds a little bit and teach you guys about aiming. So we're gonna talk about aiming. The first thing we talked about was movement because you actually need to move in the game. Movement is is a basic thing. It's a basic operation. It's a basic mechanism in the game. You have to move. So the second thing we're going to talk about is aiming. Aiming. So now, like, I don't know if you guys can see the yellow dots. Okay, let me use a more attractive color. Okay, this is better. So the second topic we're talking about is aiming. So most people are like, they're so confused about aiming, how to aim and all that stuff. So I'm going to show you guys everything you need to know about aiming. So I don't know if you guys see this red dot on my screen. I don't know. Wait, hold on. Can you guys see the red dots just slightly above my head to the right side? The top right, slightly above. I don't know if you guys can see the red dots. Yeah. Okay. So basically, in lame terms, this is your aim. This is your aim. So wherever this dot is, that's where you're aiming at. Literally. Wherever this dot is, that's where you're aiming at. So if this dot, for example, is on this, that means you're aiming there. If it's here, means you're aiming there. So basically the dot is your aim. Okay? You need to first of all, you need to understand that first of all. Now, second of all, we have what we call crosshair. Now you see, like, the dot is in the middle, and we have some lines, some straight lines on top, right side, left side, and below the dot. I don't know if you see it. So basically, this is what we call crosshair. Basically, so this is also your aim. This is also your aim. So wherever this thing is on, it means you are actually aiming on that thing. So if my crosshair is on this guy, it means I am aiming this guy. Okay, it means I am aiming this guy. But the most important thing you need to actually know is the dot. The dot is more important than the lines. It's actually more important than the lines, because the dot is your aim. The dot is your aim, and the other lines is your crosshair. It's what we call crosshair. So the dot is your aim. So wherever the dot is on, let's say for example, you see the crosshair, the up crosshair is on the head of this image, and the dot is on the stomach, on the belly. Now when I shoot, it's gonna be body shot. Why? Because the dot is on the belly. Get what I mean? So basically, the dot is the most important thing in the game. So if you want to actually aim, in this game, you have to make sure the dot.
Lil Fast Gaming is asking, TPP control 90 or 80, which is better?
That is not related to my question, like to what I'm talking about. So I'm not gonna answer that just yet. You can leave all those questions, any random question. You can leave random questions till like maybe after I'm done. Then you can ask random questions about the game, and I can explain. But for now, I'm only gonna entertain questions related to what I am talking about, or related to the topic, to the exact topic I'm talking about. Because I have to make everything orderly. So I don't want to entertain like random questions just yet. So if you have random questions, just wait till the end of like till I'm done with explaining everything about the game. Then you can ask random questions. But for now, I'm only going to entertain questions, related to the topic, just to be orderly. Yeah. So like as I was saying, the red dot is your aim. That's the aim. So you see now, like I said, the upper crosshair is on his head. The upper crosshair is on the head of this, but the dot is on the belly. So you don't expect when your aim is like this, you're gonna get headshots. It's not possible. You can't get headshots because the dot is not on the head of your opponent or on the head of your enemy whatsoever. So this dot is very important. This dot is super important, and you need to know how to control the dot while shooting your enemies. You need to know how to make this dot stay on the area, like the visual area, like the body of your enemies. So whenever you shoot them, you can deal damage. Because if the dot is not on your, enemy, on the enemy's body whatsoever, or head, or shoulder, or hands, or legs, you can't deal damage. You're just gonna shoot something else. So you need to learn how to make this dot stable. So basically, this is the aim, and yeah, that's literally everything about the aim. So the dot is your aim. So while moving, you need to make sure that, oh, this is in single. You need to make sure that your dot is on the body of the enemy or on the head. So I don't know, it doesn't matter where you shoot, but for you to deal damage, the dot has to be somewhere on the body of your enemy for you to... So basically, so I'm just gonna do like, see, no matter how far I move backwards, because most people, the mistake most people make in training ground is, I know I've said something like this before, the mistake most people make in training ground is to go like super close, do all this. That's if you want to actually practice your aim, you need to actually go somewhere like, you need to actually go somewhere far from the enemy and practice. This is if you want to actually improve your hip fire. Now you see, I'm very far from the enemy, and it's actually, so you need to actually practice your hip fire like this. You need to practice your hip fire like this. Make sure you go like as far from the enemy as possible, and try to shoot at the enemy, and make sure the dot is around the head region or the body region, because basically the head region deals more damage than the body region, and the body region deals more damage than the foot region. So you need to actually make sure you go like as far from this thing as possible. And for those of you that are wondering where this is called the training grounds. This is called the training grounds. This is where you actually come to train. It's where you actually come to like perfect your sense, your controls and stuff. So you need to actually go as far away from this as possible. You need to actually go as far away from this as possible to train. And with time, if you're actually good at stabilizing this aim wherever like you want it to be, then you're good to go. So that's what it is. So basically the aim is this red dot. This is what enables you to actually deal damage. So wherever this red dot is, that's where your shots are going to register. So I hope you understand. So honestly, you can ask me questions related to aim and I'll answer. Let's go to the next thing. So that's what it is. So basically the aim is this red dot. This is what enables you to actually do damage. So wherever this red dot is, that's where your shots good and clear. Oh, nice. So like I said, if you have any questions about aiming, you can ask me and I'll answer them. What's your sensitivity loadout? Nah, that's not related to the topic. Ask me anything related to aim and I'll give you a very good answer concerning that. Anything.
Ask everything about AIM you need to know.
So, like I said, if you have any questions about aim,
No sensitivity today, guys.
my aim fire shakes a lot. How do I aim better? Alright, very good question. What's the sensitivity? So basically, if your hip fire shakes, that means your gyro is super high. So basically, there are two mechanics by which like we can aim, and one of them is gyroscope, okay, and the other is ADS. So you have to be using one of these in order to play the game. There is no other like thing you can use apart from gyroscope and ADS. So if your aim is shaking, it's because your gyroscope is too high. And this is where we actually talk about sensitivity. This is where we actually talk about sensitivity. Because sensitivity involves. So this is where we talk about sensitivity. This is your sensitivity. And we have lens and ADS sensitivity. So basically, this is your ADS. This is basically your ADS section. So when you click on your sensitivity, we have two sections. We have the ADS, which is this, the lens, which involves your camera sensitivity. As you can see, this is the sensitivity of your camera when your screen is swiped without firing. So basically, if you know what I'm talking about, like ADS actually involves you swiping. It doesn't actually involve you having to tilt your screen. So basically, people that play ADS, they don't have to tilt their screen in order to move their aim. In order to move their aim. So basically, this is the ADS section, and we have the camera sensitivity, and we have the ADS sensitivity. Camera sensitivity for free loop, which involves the vehicle sensitivity, FPP, and camera parachuting. Okay, so basically, if you wanna actually, if you play ADS, you need to actually focus on these settings, especially your TPP no scope, because your TPP no scope is what is like in charge of your hip fire. Actually, your hip fire, as you can see, the ADS sensitivity affects the sensitivity of the camera when the screen is swiped while firing. And you see here, it can be used to keep the barrel down. Now, one thing you notice, even in real life, is when you shoot a gun, there is what we call recoil. There's what we call recoil. Even in real life, okay? There's what we call recoil. So basically, when I shoot like this, my aim goes up because the gun itself has some mechanisms in it that vibrates the gun. It vibrates the gun, and yeah, it has to go up because it's vibrating. It goes up, and now you have to actually like be able to keep the barrel. You have to actually keep the gun down. If you want your aim to be stable, you have to actually bring this that goes up. You need to actually control it so it's stable. It's just like the force of gravity in physics, like whatever goes up must come down because of the gravitational force field. So basically, that's how it is. So when you shoot, your gun goes up. That's the recoil. That's what we call recoil. So you need to be able to bring it down using your gyroscope or your ADS, either one of these. So basically, the recoil. So even in real life, when you shoot a gun, it goes up. You vibrate when you shoot it. Like especially an AR. When you shoot an AR, you vibrate, and because of the recoil of the gun, the way the gun is built, the recoil, everything, the gun goes up. So you need to be strong enough in real life for you to bring that recoil down, for you to make it stable. And that's why in game we have two mechanisms that helps you to bring down this recoil, that helps you to stable this recoil, and one of it is gyroscope and the other is ADS. So if your hip fire is dancing around, if your hip fire is actually dancing around, you need to make sure that you need to make sure that you stable the someone is you need to actually make sure you stable the recoil just enough for you to hit your aim or to hit your target. Someone is actually smoking. So you have to actually yeah, you need hip fire. I mean, you need gyroscope or ADS to actually stabilize your recoil. So if your recoil is unstable while like shooting, you need to actually check your sensitivity. That's where the issue is. The sensitivity is actually the main issue here. You need to actually make sure your sense is perfect, so you can have the perfect recoil. I mean, so you can control your recoil, because you have to actually I mean, you need gyroscope, so you can control your recoil actually.
I am here to remind you to drink some water, please, because you have to explain so much.
Yeah, I will do just that. Sensitivity is actually this guy. I'm just gonna name this guy. So you have to make sure your sensitivity is in order. And yeah, hopefully after this game I would show you how to set your sense, so you can easily set your sensitivity and controls. I mean your sensitivity rather. So because sensitivity is actually associated with aiming, and you need your sensitivity to be right and perfect in order for you to aim properly. And yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do after this game. So if you have questions, yeah, you can ask your questions. Ask more questions. I think my mods are gonna pin the questions that are important. When I mean important, the ones that are related to my topic or to the topic I'm talking about, and I'm going to answer every single one of them. Thank you for the follow, guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Water reminder.
Yeah, I'll drink water, but not yet. I don't feel like drinking water just yet. Thank you guys for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. There's people fighting over there.
Guys,
Headshots are on.
get some snacks. Write down your notes and learn a lot about this game today.
That's a real guy. So yeah, just ask me. Is there any question? How can I be skillful in PUBG? That doesn't relate to enemy. Hello Savcho, how you doing, bro? Welcome in. So guys, ask me any question related to aiming. Thank you. But after this game, I'm gonna like explain how to set your sense, because I think that is basically aiming, hip fire and everything. It's very much related. It's very much associated with your sense. Your sense is actually perfect.
I get a lot of bumps. How can I practice that?
Get a lot of what? After this game, I'm gonna like explain how to set your sense. Body shots, but barely. Oh shit! This guy's training. Okay, hold on. Let me just finish this guy. The real guy. I need to finish him off. So wait, does that mean you guys have one? Let me you guys have like a final teammate or these guys. Maybe I have a hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me take finish this. Bro, what the heck? Does that mean you guys have bro, you should be burning by now already. Don't steal my kill.
Chat is gonna do questions relating to aim after this match. Please be patient.
You should be burning by now already. I am ABN Amodi. Are you the guy I just killed?
A new follower.
So guys, after this match, I'm gonna answer every question you need to. Every question you would ask about aim. I don't know why my ping is spiking a lot. The real guys are there. Dead. So guys, after this match, I'll answer every question. Just give me a moment. Just 8 people alive. I think I killed all the real players. I think it's like bots that are left. So I'll just handle all the bots. Oh my god, it's my HP. All these bots, and yes. So guys, you can now ask me any question you want to ask and I will give like a very good answer. To the best of my knowledge, I okay. So someone asked wait, hold on, where was that question? Babe, where was that question you asked? What did you ask? Ask it again. So guys, you can now ask me. Show us how to set sensitivity. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, but that's gonna be the last thing I'll do. What is your pickup settings? I'm going to talk about pickup later on. So I think she asked about her aim, like when she shoots, she doesn't get headshots. So like I said before, like all that matters is this dot. This dot is all that matters. And see, like okay, let's do something. Now, let's say this is a dummy example of like a player. So every player has we have like the head region, which is from here to like the neck side, from the top of the head to the neck. That's the first region. Then the second region was, the second region is the body region basically, which is from the shoulder level to the waist level actually. So we have three regions: the head region, the body region, which is from the shoulder level to the waist. Then we have the leg region, which is the foot, basically from the waistline down to the foot. So each of these regions deal like they have like each of these regions actually have how would I put it? Um, so each of these region actually have like specific damage they can actually take. Just for example, I'll say the head region basically. You see, the head region is actually 73. Like, I don't know if you can see what I'm saying. This is 73. This is 42. So each of these regions, this is the body region 42, and this is the leg region 26. So what does that tell you? That means if you shoot someone on the head, you deal 73 damage, which is a lot, right? You deal 73 damage. When you shoot someone on the body region, you deal 42 damage. When you shoot someone on the leg region, you deal 26 damage. So what does that tell you? That tells you that if you see like an opponent in front of you, you should try to aim for the head, right? Basically, that's what it tells you. That's what it tells you. You have to actually aim for the head or maybe for the body, because these regions actually deal more damage than the foot. The head region deals more damage than the body region, and the body region deals more damage than the leg region. So now, whenever you face an enemy, you need to make sure that your aim, which is this dot, is on the head region, either on the head region or on the body region. Now, if you're having problems with headshots or getting headshots, it means that your crosshair or your aim is not on the head region of your opponent. That means whenever you want to fight your opponent, your aim is always on their body. So the only thing you can do if you want to get headshots is to make sure that you purposely aim for their head, because this is a game, you all are playing the game and you have to purposely like aim. The game is not going to do it for you. There is aim assist, but that doesn't mean it's really going to help you. You have to purposely actually aim for their head if you want to get headshots. And yeah, you have to like keep your crosshair always at the head level, the head neck level, whichever. Like, make sure your crosshair is at the head level or the neck level in order for you to get headshots. That's the only way I can tell you. There is no other way. I wouldn't recommend you to use aimbots or hacks because they're not going to make you improve. So if you want to actually get headshots while like CQC, that's close quarter combat, or hip fire, whatever you call it, close combat, whatever you want to call it, make sure your aim, which is this dot, the dots, guys, I told you, the dot is more important than the whole like other like than the whole crosshair, like the whole crosshair. The dot is the aim. So make sure your dot is on this region, on the head region, in order for you to get headshots. That's it. So, is there any other question? How your
Next
aim not is
question.
checked?
Does a device matter in terms of aim? I have
Does
S24 Ultra, but my aim is not aiming.
does the device matter in terms of aim? No, your device doesn't affect your aim. The only thing your device does is to provide a stable, or I don't know, it just the only thing your device actually affects is your FPS. That's the frames per second. That's the only thing your device actually affects in the game. The frames per second. Your device can either run maybe 120 FPS, 60 FPS, 90 FPS. It's all dependent on the device. So that's the only thing your device does. That's the only thing your device actually helps you with the frames per second. If your device runs 120 FPS, that means your device can be able to render 120 frames per second. So whenever you play the game, your device would help you render like
A
more
new
images,
follower.
more like stuff, like the graphics, everything is going to render faster because basically the game runs on too many frames. The game runs on
A
too many
new
frames,
follower.
and you need a good device to render the exact frames your game is actually rendering on. So let's say, for example, my device is an iPad Pro M2 and it's 120 frames per second. It's a 120 frames per second device. That means I can be able to render 120 FPS, 120 frames per second in the game. So what that means is images are going to render properly and they're going to render smoothly on my screen. I'm not going to notice like frame drops whenever I play the game, or let's say, for example, I want to land at the event and instead of me to like render the whole event, because basically the events, like all the events on your map, they have like they're rendered like properly. They run on too many frames. The game itself runs on too many frames, and you need a very good device to render on those exact frames your game is rendering on. So if you have a 120 FPS device, you can be able to select your like you can come to the graphics and decide to run on 120 FPS on your game. All you have to do is just, select the whole like settings, smooth, ultra extreme, which is 120 FPS, and then you can be able to play on 120 FPS on your game. But if you're playing on a 40 FPS device, you cannot be able to render like, okay, let's say for example you run on a 40 FPS device. You can decide to, that's why we have options here basically. You can decide to render your game on medium or on high, or let's say medium basically. You can render your game on medium, but still it's still going to affect your game because standardly, like based on standards, your game is rendering so many frames. So even if you actually set this to medium, your phone is not still able it's not still going to keep up with the frames because the game itself is rendering on so many frames per second itself. So basically when you land at the event or when you land at the hot drop, your device will actually be struggling to keep up with the frames at which your game is rendering on basically. So that's why you see most people with 40 FPS, they complain of lags, they complain of desync and all that stuff. It's because their phone can't keep up with the standard frame per second at which your game is rendering on basically. So if you have 120 FPS, you can render the game easily. You can land on the event easily without having frame drops. You can land anywhere in the game. You can play the game basically without having frame drops if you have like a 120 FPS, 90 FPS device basically. So yeah, that's it. So next question please. I hope the person actually understands that device doesn't help with your aim. The only thing device helps with is the frames per second, which is your FPS. That's the one and only thing it helps you with. Why do my settings have a new version? Nah, that's not a question, bro. What's the best technique for tracking and moving targets, especially in close range? See, the best technique, I wouldn't tell you there is a technique, honestly. There is no technique. There is no technique because, see, I'm not a robot. You're not a robot. Okay? Your enemies are not robots as well. So the only thing I can tell you is you need to actually learn how to trace moving targets. There are so many tutorials on how to do that. I don't think I have enough time to jump into that. But you can go on YouTube, you can search for tutorials.
I think she
There's
means what
so
are your
many
tips and tricks?
my tips and tricks. I'm not really sure I can go into that because of time. But like I said, I did the first one. There's so many tips and tricks. But I have to find the moving targets. These targets are not moving. To find the moving target. I don't find the moving target. So these are moving targets. Hold on. So tips and tricks. So first of all, this is a moving target, okay? This is your gun. So first of all, you need to learn how to follow like your moving targets. You need to learn how to follow your moving targets while like shooting, basically, because when your enemies want to, like, when you face your enemies, you have to shoot them, and they also move at the same time. So you have to really learn how to move with your enemies. Like, this is moving too fast and I'm too close, but I'm still trying to keep up with it. See, I'm trying to make sure this is in the head region. So this is one of the tips and tricks I use in my early days of training and stuff. So I mean, it's not easy. As you can see, I'm even struggling with it. But if you want to actually improve, like, this is moving too fast basically. But if you want to actually improve your aim, you have to make sure you learn how to follow, like, objects like this in the training grounds, stuff like that. So also you need to learn how to I think there are tutorials. I mean, there are like training stuff here. Hold on, let me show you.
A new follower.
I think there are training stuff here. So if you come to training grounds, you see this standard training, I think. If you want to actually customize, I want 20 meters. Health of the targets. Oh, let's put that. Movement speed. I have to add movement speed so the target is moving. I'll put the movement speed here. Let's see. Yo, why is this moving? Oh, this is not moving too fast. Hold on. I thought that was moving too fast. That was not moving too fast. That is moving too slow. So you go to your training ground. Let's increase the movement speed to like this. I think. Or maybe I should put it at max. Let's see. So you need to learn how to trace your. To learn how to trace your targets while, like, shooting, So this is basically the fastest speed I can do. So it doesn't matter how you want to move. Maybe you want to move left, right, left, right, left, right, or you want to move like this, one-sided or one-sided. Basically that's what I would recommend. So first of all, you learn how to move with your targets, basically how to let your aim be on your targets while they are moving. So these are the training drills I'll recommend. Training drills. Then also go here, you do that stuff, you activate this stuff, and yeah, you train, like, with your enemies, like with these targets, while shooting. So that's all I can recommend actually. Is there any tip for the hip movement to connect bullets? The amount of hours I spend on training grounds to practice this, yeah, basically. Moving so fast, is it because of your joystick? Yeah, it's because of my joystick. So basically, if you want to connect your shots, like I said, if you want to connect your shots, make sure your dot is on the figure of your enemy. Just make sure your dot is around the region of your enemy, either the head region or the body region or the leg region. You just have to make sure that your aim itself is on the region, whichever region it is of your enemy, basically. So if your aim, which is this red dot, is there, connect shots. It is what it is. All you just need is your gyroscope. You just need your
New
gyroscope
follower.
in order to trace your enemy. All you need is your gyroscope in order to trace your enemy. see this. This is so difficult. But I mean, you don't have to be perfect in this. You just need to. It's just a training drill. Just a training
I
drill.
think we have to move on with the next topic or else we'll be here for 6H.
Basically, honestly speaking, we have to. So basically, I just talked about aiming and shooting. I mean, everyone knows how to shoot in the game. All you need to do is press the fire button, this button basically. I'll just briefly talk about shooting because shooting is the next thing. So basically, this is I'm gonna increase this. So this top right here
A
is the
new
shooting button.
follower.
Okay. So this here is the shooting button. So this is the button this is the control we actually press on. We actually tap on to shoot, basically. So when you aim, you need to know how to shoot because you don't just know how to place your crosshair and all that stuff without knowing how to shoot exactly. So you need to know how to shoot. And the only way you can shoot, there is no other way around it. The only way you can shoot is by pressing this button on your screen, this button. You see, there's a bullet thing here. You have to press this button in order for you to shoot, basically. So that's yeah, that's all about shooting. There is nothing complicated about shooting.
You can ask your questions at the end again. Maybe a lot will get explained throughout already.
Just press the shooting button, basically. Please show us how you set your joystick. I already showed that, and honestly, I don't want to go back to that because I took like 4 questions relating to that. So all I would just say is your joystick, just place it in the position of your screen that is so much more comfortable for you to play on. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. So someone says scope settings. Says scope settings. Mm, where is that scope settings? Okay, this is scope settings basically. So scope settings, you see we have scope mode, basically tap, hold, mixed. So the tap mode means you have to actually tap on the scope setting because why I'm explaining this is because it has to do with aiming as well. So the tap mode means you have to actually tap it. You have to actually tap on the scope for you to open the scope. So if you want to open your scope, you have to tap the scope button. If you want to close your scope, you need to tap it back to close the scope. So obviously, as you can see, I'm not playing with the tap mode, I'm playing on the hold mode. So I have to actually hold my scope button in order for my scope to open. And then when I release my hand, it closes. So that's all I can say about the scope settings. Quick scope switch is like, if you want to actually select which scope to use and all that stuff. Camera rotation while ADS. This has to do with also when you open your scope, it doesn't your camera doesn't rotate when you open your scope. There is no camera rotation when you open your scope, basically. That's what this camera rotation while ADS means. And then canted sights, all these things are not necessary, but I think I have explained the necessary part about it. So how do you go to training section? You click here,
Please
bottom
show how to
left,
get to the training grounds.
and the training grounds is here. You see the training grounds? Here, where is this thing? This is the training grounds. This is the training grounds, basically. This is the training grounds. It's on the top right. The first one is chair park. The second one is training grounds. Third one is rooms, and the last one is settings. So basically, this is the training grounds here, literally. So now, just delete this. I hope you understand. Sensitivity, bro. I'm not sharing sense today. So yeah, I'm going to talk about parachuting now. So I'm going to talk about parachuting. I'm going to talk about choosing suitable landing spots. And I'm also going to talk about the importance of quickly searching for supplies
A
after
new
landing.
follower.
So these are the 3 things I'm going to talk about: parachuting. I'm going to talk about choosing suitable landing spots, and I'm going to also talk about I'm also going to demonstrate how to pick up weapons and items. And yeah, going to talk about a lot in this game. So, not expand. So I'm going to actually talk a lot. Yeah. So basically, I'll just talk about parachuting, finding suitable landing spots, and demonstrating how to pick up weapons in this game. Because basically, this is all like explaining to new players how the game works. So yeah, literally, this is what I'm gonna talk about. I'm going to. So I would show you how to parachute in certain areas, like basically. Um, yeah. So first of all, we are gonna land an event, and you see the event is very close to the plane path, as you can see. It's actually on the plane path. The event is actually on the plane path. So I'm going to show you when to jump, when to parachute. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm going to show you. So as you can see, I am 400 meters away. So I think it's best to jump at 300 meters, like when you're close to the event. 300 meters is actually the best distance you need to jump from. And when you're parachuting, you have to make sure you visualize where you're landing. And when you visualize where you're landing, then you can actually know how to control your parachute using your movement button so you can land properly. So first of all, if wherever you're going to is on the plane path, make sure you jump exactly 300 meters. That's actually the fastest. So basically 300 meters is the fastest when you want to like jump, you know, at events,
Two
literally.
followers.
So make sure you jump exactly 300 meters. And whenever you want to land, make sure you quickly visualize where you want to land so you can land like early. Where's this guy? Bro, I don't see him anymore. The freak? Where did he go to? I don't have smokes. Okay. I just think I'm gonna get bombed. Am I the one lagging? Oh, I see him. Oh my god, this is not good. So also I'm gonna like show you how to land um I'm gonna show you how to choose suitable landing spots, especially outside events, like especially for new players, you know. So literally you have to choose a space that is safe, you know, for landing. Let's say for example, let's go to Hot Spring because basically Hot Spring is far away from the mini events. I mean from the event and the mini events. So basically this is a guide. This is actually a guide for new players. So old players don't, I hope you don't mind, because basically why I'm doing all this is for new players. So you have to find a suitable landing spot, and then you have to loot as quickly as possible. You have to loot as quickly as possible, and please only loot the things you need. Let's say for example, as a new player you have to actually make use of an AR. At least you need to have an AR. As a new player you need to actually have an AR, to make use of an AR, and then you can take maybe any secondary of your choice, but you need to have an AR. So when you're looting, make sure you have an AR with you, either an M4, Sky-L, whichever gun. Make sure you have a very suitable AR. I'll recommend M4 or Sky-L for new players. Basically M4 is actually the best for new players because it has the least recoil for ARs, because basically Sky-L has more recoil than the M460. So you have to search for a backpack, for a very suitable backpack. I would suggest a level 2 backpack, and yeah, you need to get an AR. I would suggest the M4, like I said, and make sure you loot meds. Make sure you loot meds. You need meds so you can heal up. And you have to loot as fast as possible. You have to loot as fast as possible. So make sure you're always constantly looting. Don't stay at a place to loot. One mistake people make is to lie down and loot. I mean, it's a general mistake. But you know, while lying down to loot whatever you're looting, someone can just shoot you and you're dead. So make sure you're always on the move. Make sure you're always on the move while looting. Make sure you're always on the move while looting. Don't lie down to loot, and try to loot as fast as possible.
New follower.
So basically this is for new players especially. So make sure you land at a very like secure spot. I mean, your spot might not be 100% secure, but make sure you land at a spot with so much loot. And honestly, I would recommend Hot Spring for new players because yeah, there's so much loot in Hot Spring. It's mostly useless because most people do not come here. I wouldn't recommend you going to Midstein, or maybe you can go Iceberg. There's also lots of loot there. Rose Farm doesn't have much loot. You can go Iceberg or Bloomstar or Hot Spring, or maybe Logistics Center, or maybe Logistics Center. Those are real players. Those are real players actually. I said, make sure you land at a location that is secure. How do you spot people that are far away from you? I mean, you have to find them, you have to like see them. You know, there is no easy way to spot enemies than just seeing them. So you have to always be on the lookout. You have to always be on the lookout. You have to look around, you know, if you want to spot enemies. I'm not in zone, and I wouldn't say it's a good thing. It's obviously a bad thing. I die like this. So guys, make sure whenever you're outside the zone, make sure you always like use your meds. Make sure you always use your meds. Have your meds on standby. So yeah, you can heal up when necessary. Okay, someone's actually nice. GG. So I think I would say, you know, how to parachute. I'm also gonna explain you know, some other things as well. How do you load so fast? What do you mean load so fast? Okay. So like I said, you need to like pick up items like pretty fast. I would explain more of that in the next game. I would explain more of that in the next game. So you need to learn how to pick up weapons, items like meds, grenades, stun grenades, smoke grenades, and all that stuff. And also, I talked about the landing spot. Like I said, I talked about that in the previous game. And I also explained the importance of quickly searching for supplies because you need to loot as fast as possible. I mean, how do you pick up items from the enemy crates? You have to actually. I use auto pickup basically, which is I'm going to explain all this in the next game because I'm going to be picking up stuff and I'm going to show you guys how I pick up stuff and I'll explain everything related to that. How to set your scopes. I think that's the last thing I'm going to do. How to set your sense. I think that's the last thing I'm going to explain. Thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate you guys. So you guys should relax. I'm going to show you how to set your scope and sense and all that stuff. For those of you, Saben, thank you for the likes. Foxy, thank you for the likes. Life with Key, thank you for the likes. I appreciate you guys. Everyone, I appreciate you guys. Let's get to 35k likes, hopefully. This is a high ping lobby. I think it's a high ping lobby. I wouldn't have enough time to explain what I want to explain in high ping lobbies. This is a high ping lobby. I need to go to a low ping lobby so I can easily explain the stuffs I want to explain. So guys, in this game, like I said, I'm going to explain how I pick up stuff. I'm going to explain how I pick up stuff, weapons, items. I'm going to explain how I pick up those stuff. And yeah. And I think last game I explained why I emphasized the use of ammo and medical supplies. But I think I'm still gonna emphasize on that this match. So yeah, I'm gonna explain. Gonna emphasize on that literally. The use of ammo and medical supplies. And I'm going to demonstrate how I pick up stuff really fast. So that's all I'm gonna explain in this game. And yeah. And this time I wouldn't go to the events because I wanna show you like how to parachute longer distance. You know, not close distance. I wanna show you guys how to parachute longer distance. So now let's say for example we wanna go to Iceberg, okay? As you can see, Iceberg is actually it's one of the farthest locations from the plane pad. So I wouldn't go to the event because I really want to explain how to land at longer distances. So basically, if I want to land at Iceberg now, I have to make sure that the plane gets to a point that the playing pad gets to a point that is the closest in distance. And here, I'm gonna jump here because here is like the closest in distance to iceberg. You have to jump at such a point that is like the closest in distance. And when you jump, make sure that your joystick is, you know, facing like north. As you can see, my joystick is facing north. I don't know if you can see it. It is facing north. Now you see, I am super close. I am super close to iceberg. Now, if you check this point and you try to take it to the plane path, like from this point, from this reference point where I landed to the plane path, I mean to where I jumped, you see it's 800 meters. So I just jumped 800 meters from the plane path to a 1000 meter location, because this location was like around 1100 meters. So basically, you see how fast I landed or how fast I parachuted from the plane path to this location. So basically, that's how it's done. Make sure you find a point that is the closest to the location you want to go. And this only works for locations that are very far from the plane path. So now I have to now basically, you see, this is a compensator and it's appearing on my loot icon. So we have what we call auto pickup, which is here. You see it on the right side, pickup. We have graphics, customized buttons, sensitivity, and we have pickup. Okay. So basically, this pickup is, you know, you can actually choose to auto pick your items or no. So you see, my auto pickup is enabled. So most people love to disable their auto pickup because they don't want to automatically pick up their like stuff, like the items and all that stuff. So if you want to be fast at picking up stuff, you have to make sure your auto pickup is on. Okay, and there are a few settings here in the auto pickup, like auto pick level 3 backpacks, pistols, scope, drop scope, and all that stuff. So basically everything is here in the settings, and you can, to your own comfort, customize everything here. You can choose the things you want to pick up. You can choose the, just like now, like I choose not to pick up any stun grenades. I choose to pick up 5 frag grenades and all that stuff. Like everything is here in the auto pickup settings. I mean the pickup settings, and you can choose to either auto pick up, or you can choose to disable the auto pickup. So mine is enabled, and that's what helps me to pick up like really fast. And also, you can use your hands to actually pick up stuff. You can manually pick up by pressing or tapping on whatever item you want to pick up. Let's say, for example, we have canted sight in front of us. Like, okay, basically, I have canted sight in front of me, and I want to pick this up. And remember, I choose not to auto pick up this stuff. That's why PUBG Mobile is not automatically picking up this stuff for me. So basically, if I want to pick up this stuff, let's say peradventure I want to use the canted sight, all I have to do is actually click on the canted sight and pick it up. So basically, let me drop some items here. So we have canted sights, red dots, compensator, and the 5.56 millimeters. So basically, if I want to pick up all this stuff, I can choose to use my hands manually to pick up all this stuff. So now some people asking me, how are you so fast at pickup? It's because I allow the system to auto pick up for me, and I also manually pick up stuff at the same time. So it makes the process like faster and more easier. So whenever I run around stuff, I use my hands to, like, you know, auto pick them. I mean to manually pick them up. And also PUBG Mobile helps me pick up stuff, the stuffs I need basically. So that's why my pickup is so fast. So if I see like there is something I need, I pick it up like ASAP, and yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna loot. I think I have 55 seconds before the next zone comes. So I have to loot stuff in 55 seconds. So watch me as I try to loot stuff super quickly. I need an AR. I need a freaking AR. So you have to make sure your eyes is all over the place. Oh, it was even less than 55 seconds. Wow. You need to find the backpack, guys. Always find the backpack if you want to loot stuff. Make sure you find the backpack because it's the backpack that stores like all the stuffs you pick up. So I think I'm done with this place. I think I'm done. I didn't find an AR. All I found was UMP and shotgun. So if I found, let's use this. Let's use this. So I think I'm going to even use this opportunity to talk about the play zone, guys. There is something called the play zone. Okay. And also make sure when you're outside the play zone. Now, basically this is the play zone. This circle you see. Basically this circle, this white circle you see. Everything inside of the white circle is called the play zone. Basically, everything inside the white circle is called the play zone. Now, the essence of the play zone is actually to bring players. It's actually to bring players together in the battle royale. Like basically, this is battle royale. This is not TPM. So, in order for us to have a very interesting gaming experience, PUBG had to actually create this mechanism called the play zone. And as you can see, the play zone shrinks every like 2 minutes or so, 2 to 3 minutes or so. So once it shrinks, if you're outside the play zone and you're outside the play zone and you're in this blue region, basically you're in this blue region, your HP is gonna like go down because PUBG is actually telling you that you need to actually go inside the play zone and have fun with other people in the play zone. So this is just like a mechanism PUBG created to like make sure everyone has an exciting and interesting, because so many people, if there was no play zone actually, so many people would actually decide to stay like
A new
in
follower.
very far locations, and it's not going to make the game interesting because you have to actually go further away, or you have to go to far lengths to look for enemies and people. So basically the play zone is just here to make the game, to facilitate the game and make sure that
A new
everyone
follower.
stays in the play zone and we have like an interesting experience, gaming experience. So like I said, when looting, make sure you have your auto pickup on, and if you want to actually loot as fast as I loot, make sure you manually pick up stuff as well, and also make sure you go to the play zone. You have to go to the play zone. Now see, I'm inside the white circle, and as you can see my HP is not reducing because I'm inside the play zone. But if you're like outside, which is this blue area here, your HP is gonna reduce, and eventually if you don't heal up, you would get knocked to the play to the zone, to the blue zone, to this blue like region. You'll get knocked outside there, and then you eventually die and you have to restart the game. So yeah. So basically that's all I can tell you about the play zone. So it's important for you to move to the next play zone and not stay outside the play zone. And not stay outside the play zone. Talk about MS. I'm not really talking about MS right now, but I think I'm gonna get to that really soon. And so yeah, I think I'm done talking about how to pick up supplies and how to you know play with the zone, with the play zone. So it's very important that you have to go to the next play zone as soon as possible to avoid dying to the blue zone. You know, so that's it. That's all I can say. So as you can see, the play zone shrink again because I told you it shrinks like every 2 minutes, every 2 to 3 minutes. So it shrinks, and when it shrinks, this blue region, as you can see, this blue region, all these regions outside, especially the ones covered with this you know, stuff. If you're outside the play zone, your HP is gonna reduce faster. So for every like shrink, the play zone is the play zone is gonna become hotter. So for every shrink, the play zone becomes like hotter. So the longer you stay outside the play zone, the hotter like the play zone becomes. So you honestly don't have to stay outside the play zone, so your HP doesn't reduce. Oh, that's a real guy actually. So you have to always move to the next zone, so you don't have to die outside the zone and ruin your gaming experience. AFK, right? So that's all I can say about the zone. Yeah, it's nice. I think I need a long range. I didn't get the long range though. Find the long range. Yeah, that's fine. I think there's obviously people in this time. So guys, if you have any questions regarding to what I just said, please let me know.
I love it when players coach, but it's really hard to learn. My network is good. It will be 1%.
Okay, we are good. Okay, understandable. Let's play the game. I don't have a good scope about this. That's why I don't get back shots. Cherry shots, especially like guys, thank you for the gifts. I appreciate all the gifts. Thank you so much. There was a guy that shot from the hillside. Hold on. Now, like guys, as you can see, the play zone has shrinked, and anyone outside the play zone is going to die definitely. I think they all died. They all freaking died. So like as you can see, now the play zone has shrinked to this point. You should expect that the damage is like times 2. And if you're outside the play zone, you're going to die. So this is just literally a mechanism that PUBG had to introduce to improve the gaming experience. So yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah, I think I explained it like so well. So I feel there shouldn't be any questions. So we're gonna move to the next topic, but that will be next game. Really, I don't have a long one. So now you see, like I'm away from the play zone, so I have to move. And I even have to move now. So this is where we use smokes. Oh, the guy on top, he had a P90 though. Okay, G. There was nothing I could do. He had a freaking MG to throw. Anyways, GG. So basically that's it. Because I was explaining a lot, I couldn't get to the play zone. You see, this is why it's important for you to move to the play zone as soon as possible. Because people that hold the zone, they have the advantage. So that's why it's necessary for you to play with the zone. It's necessary for you to play with the zone. And people that are in the zone, they can actually keep people coming into the zone. And when you don't get to the play zone as early as possible, you're at like a disadvantage. And people that have the zone, they can easily take you out. Maybe if you're playing with your team, they can easily take you and your team out because they have the advantage. Having the zone means having the advantage. So you have to always make sure you play with the zone. Don't stay outside the zone for too long. Move with the zone, and yeah, you're gonna enjoy your gaming experience for sure if you play with the zone, basically. So that's it. So this game, or now I'm gonna talk about. I think I talked about choosing suitable landing spots. So now I'm going to introduce the type of weapons and their suitable scenarios. And I think for this I have to go to training grounds basically because that's where all the weapons are. Is there really a technique in clutching? There is no technique. Honestly, when you want to clutch, I mean, I have to say this because you guys are always asking unnecessary questions. I mean, this is not actually related to the topic, which makes it unnecessary, but clutching has to do with you have to have like a very good aim because you're literally dealing with more than one player basically. So your aim has to be on point. When you shoot someone, you have to connect all your shots because four people might be pushing you. They might surround you. Now, when you want to also clutch, you need to have the upper hand. You can't clutch. It's like literally like it's very difficult. Let me put it like this. It is very difficult to clutch if you don't have the upper hand. When I mean upper hand is if you don't have the advantage. People that clutch, they clutch because they have the advantage. Now, as a solo squad player, when a full squad pushes me, all I'm looking for is that loophole that will give me the advantage to clutch. I have to look for that loophole. And once you give me that loophole, I make use of it, then I get the upper hand, and then I can be able to clutch. And clutching does is not something like we do. It's something that requires strategy. It's something that requires like very good strategy. Something that requires decision making. You need to be able to make decisions. You need to make use of things around you. Maybe you need to make use of your grenades, make use of your mollies, you know, your guns and all that stuff. So it has to do with having the upper hand. You need to look for that mistake because people actually get wiped because they make a mistake. It's not because they are not good. No matter how good your squad is, if you make a single mistake can actually make a solo squad player to wipe you and your squad because of just one mistake. So you don't need to you when you want to clutch, you need to look for that loophole. You need to look for that mistake that will make you take down one, take down the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. They need to make that mistake. That's why you see most players they hold hands because they just want to go all in, they just want to push all in, and they don't want to make mistakes. That's why holding people that hold hands, like squad that hold hands, when they push a solo squad player, it's really difficult. The only thing the solo squad player can do to kill four guys is to throw grenades. Maybe he can throw grenades and disable like two people, like and all that stuff. But if he's not skilled at throwing grenades or molly and all that stuff, if a full squad pushes a solo player, there is no way in hell the solo player can survive. So that's why you see all these squads, they hold hands or they camp.
W sub I didn't see who though.
Healthy, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate you, bro. So that's why you see all these squad, they hold hands and camp and all that stuff. It's because they just wanna avoid making mistakes. But when this one pushes the logo or all that stuff, they start making mistakes, they start, doing unnecessary stuff and all that results in getting their squad wiped. So basically, if you want to learn how to dodge this squad wipe, it takes experience. You need to be experienced. Like I said, you need to be experienced enough to look for that mistake, to look for that loophole, to look for that thing that will give you the upper hand, the advantage. So basically, that's it. I'm not sure I'll talk about that topic again in like 2 years. So all you need to do is just go build your experience, and yeah. So like I said, so this game, I'm going to show you guys all the weapons. I don't think I can find all the weapons here. No, I'll just go to the other side. So I'll be showing you guys all the weapons we have in PUBG, and I'll show you what they are used for basically. So guys, this is the weapon section, okay? This is basically training grounds, okay? So makes sense. Yeah, thank you. So this is SR, which is a sniper rifle. So this we have the AWM. This is the AWM, guys.
A new follower.
I mean, this is the Godzilla skin. This is not really how an AW looks in real life. I mean, this is like literally how, but this is just the skin. But this is an AWM. It's a sniper rifle. It's basically what you call a sniper. So for most of you guys that love to snipe, this is an AWM. It's one of the strongest snipers in the game. I think the second strongest sniper in the game. Yeah, I think so. So the AWM. So this is the AWM. Over here we have the AMR as well. It's a sniper rifle. So basically, I'm just trying to explain the game to new players, basically, because I know most of you old players know about this. But this is for the sake of new players that want to know about PUBG and they want to play PUBG Mobile. So this is a sniper rifle. As you can see, I have a scope on this sniper rifle, an 8x scope on this sniper rifle, and this is an AWM, as you can see. And this is an AMR. I think this is the AMR is actually the strongest sniper in the game so far. It's the strongest sniper in the game, and this is an AMR, and I have an 8x scope on. So basically, this is a sniper. So for most of you guys that love to snipe, and most of you guys that love watching sniper movies and all that stuff, yeah, and maybe you want to play a game that snipes, PUBG Mobile is actually it's the best game for you, because we've got snipers, we've got the AMR, we've got the AWM.
Please go drink water real quick before you lose your voice.
I would also introduce you guys to other snipers, because we have other snipers basically. We have this is the M24, guys. It's also a sniper rifle, as you can see. It's a sniper rifle, guys. So as you can see, it's a sniper rifle. And let me look for the sniper. And we have the M60. This is MG3, sorry. Where's this gun? Shit. Then we have the Car 98. This used to be my favorite. No, not this one. Why is this thing? And we have the Car 98. I'm also going to show you guys the Mosin Nagant. So this is the Car 98, sorry. So this is the Car 98 with an 8x scope.
So basically, this is the kind of sniper rifle you see in all these old movies, because it's the Kar 98 is literally like one of the oldest snipers in the world, basically. So as you can see, it looks like old-fashioned, and yeah, it used to deal a lot of damage in PUBG Mobile, but I don't know. Right now, the Kar 98 is not really a very good sniper, but it's a cool sniper actually. It's a very cool sniper, and we have this one as well. This is a sniper. You see how big it is. So I'm also going to like show you how they sound real quick. See how the Kar 98 sounds. So that's how the Kar 98 sounds. And see how this one sounds. I'm just going to show you all their sounds. Okay. I think I'm not going to waste much time on this. I have to show you guys all the snipers and how they sound like AMR. So this is the AWM and the AMR. So I'll show you how the AWM sounds like. It sounds really cool, honestly. Sounds. And this is the AMR. The AMR has like very huge recoil. So it's a very strong sniper. I think it's the strongest sniper in the game. I guess it's the strongest sniper actually. That's why you see whenever I shoot, the recoil goes up, because to tell you how powerful it is. So this is like a very good sniper. One headshot and your opponent is knocked. So this is a really cool sniper actually. And people love to carry either the AWM or the AMR. They're like really good snipers actually. Snipers. So I think I did not check the M24. And what's this one? Okay, I checked the DSR already, and the Mosin. I didn't check the Mosin. So, oh, where's the M24? So yeah. So this is the M24, guys. This is the most common sniper, the M24. This is the most common sniper. You can find it like everywhere in the game. It's the most common sniper. You don't the AWM and the AMR, you only find them in airdrops. You find them in airdrops, but this M24, it's common. The Mosin is common, but it's rare to find. It's absolutely rare to find, but it's a common sniper. And the Kar 98 is a common sniper as well, and it's not really hard to find, but it's also hard to find. But the most common sniper you can find is the M. You find it almost everywhere. So I'll show you how they sound. That's GG's well played. So that's for the snipers, okay? That's for the snipers. So I think we have some really expo here. For most of you that like crossbows or expos, whatever you want to call them. For those of you that like, let's see, let's put this one. So you can't really use 8x on. You can't really use 8x on crossbows, guys. You can only use from 6 below. You can't use 8x on crossbows. of you have watched this, you've seen this kind of, stuff in movies, like all these, let's say Van Helsing, all these vampire-related movies and shit, where they hunt vampires, like all these vampire hunters stuff in movies. I don't know if you guys remember movies like that. They make use of these expos basically to hunt vampires and werewolves and stuff. Just an imaginary, yeah. So you guys understand. So this one looks like a shark. Looks like a dolphin. Not a dolphin. A shark, right? It's a shark. Oh, guys, what fish is this? I think it's a shark, right? Is this a shark? It should be a shark, actually. So yeah, let me show you how. See, it's an expo. So you have to manually reload it. It's not like an AR or stuff. It's an expo or a crossbow. So it has like an arrow basically. So you just shoot the arrow. And yeah, you have to reload after you shoot basically. So it's not like an AR where you have to like shoot multiple arrows consecutively, So let's test this one out. That's a shark right there. This one takes longer time to reload. From what you guys are like seeing, from what I'm seeing, it takes longer time for this to reload. It takes so much time. But look at this. This one has a faster reload time than the other one. So anyways, that's for the crossbows, that's for the bullets. So let's go to ARs basically. But we have so many guns to review. Oh my lord. Okay, let's go to AR. So first of all, I'll take the QBZ and the G36, right? So this is a QBZ basically, guys. So I'm gonna review each gun. I think this gun, this particular one, you find it in the weekend, basically. This particular one, you find it in the weekend. QBZ, you find it in Livik, Erangel, Miramar. You find it even in the weekend here as well. Sandhawk, Karakin, you find it everywhere. But this one, I think you find it in Candy. And I don't know, I've not played Karakin for years, so I don't know if you can find it in Karakin. I don't know, let me know in the chat, guys. But I think you can find it in Weekend for sure. I don't know about Karakin. I'm still skeptical about Karakin. So that's how they sound. Let me check for another one. Was it this section I went to? Oh no, not this. I think it was here. So let's go with the AUG and the M249. So yeah. On Karakin as well. Yeah, nice. No, I'm gonna remove the 6x scope. I'll just go with the 4 times because I don't need to adjust the scope every single time. So this is basically the AUG. So this is how it sounds. This is how it sounds, guys. And this is the M249. This is basically a machine gun, basically. It's a machine gun. It's a machine. I know most of you see, like, if you watch Commando movies, basically, this is the kind of gun Commando used to, like, those days, type shit. So this is the kind of gun Commando used to, like, carry. Machine gun. See how shaky the recoil is. So basically this gun is not a long range gun. For those of you that want guns with like 75 to 150 bullets, this is the right gun for you guys. See how heavy the recoil is. So that's 349. So which other gun have we got? The Mini 14 and the MK12. So I'll just quickly review all the guns. So this is the Mini 14 basically. The MK12. Now these guns are not ARs, so you have to single tap them. As for the ARs, you can like automatic because it's an automatic rifle, so you don't need to actually single tap or you don't need to like single reload every single time. So these are guns, you have to single tap them and they're not ARs. That's basically why you have to single tap them. So basically I'm single tapping them right now. So yeah, that's for these ones. Let's check some other ones we have not checked. I think it was here. So we are done with the MK12 and the Mini 14. I will go to the QBU and the FAMAS. So this one is a single tap. This one is and this FAMAS is not a single tap. So I have so many guns to check out, honestly. So let me just be quick with the checking out so I can finish on time. So let's check the M416, as most of you know, and the Scar L. So yeah, I know most of you know about the M416 and the Scar L. So basically I have no attachment. That's why the whole recoil on the Sky L is so weird. Because Sky L has lots of freaking recoil. So that's for the Sky L. So this is for the M4. So you all know how the M4 sounds, so I wouldn't really waste much time. I think there is a gun I have not reviewed. Let's see, M16A4. So let's review the M16A4. And I think the M16A4 is the last gun on the AR. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's go to the side. M762. Yeah. So let's review this. So the M16A4 has different modes you can select. So this is the burst mode. So on this mode, when you tap on the M16A4, it's only gonna give burst shots. So as you can see, this is not single shot. So you can change it to single shot as well, and you can single tap basically. So it has the burst mode and the single mode. So depending on your convenience, you can choose the mode you want to actually operate with. So me, I really like. So that's for the M16A4, and then we have the M7. So I have to review other guns as well. So I'll review the Groza and the Honey Badger. The Honey Badger. that's for the Groza and the Honey Badger. We have so many guns, so many weapons in PUBG, so many weapons. Honestly, we have the 832 and the mutant, I think. Yeah. So the mutant also has burst mode and single mode as well. So this is the burst mode. And then I'll show you guys the single mode. So that's actually for the thank you for the follow. That's for the mutant. So this is actually for the A32. Let me review other guns. I don't have much time. So we're gonna review the SKS. I know so many of you like the SKS. So many of you like the SKS. And wait, which gun haven't we reviewed? I think we have reviewed all this gun, all these guns. Okay, where's the SLR? I've not reviewed the SLR. So we have the SKS and the SLR. These are all single tap guns. And these guns are basically long. These are like long range guns. These guns are not to be used in. So many of you like the SKS. And wait, which gun haven't we reviewed? I think we have reviewed all these guns. Okay, where's the SLR? I've not reviewed the SLR. So we have the SKS and the SLR.